Regrets. I've had a few. Hi everyone, welcome to me answering your questions. All 102 of them. Yeah. So let's get to it. I don't know if I'm going to split this up into more than one video or not, or maybe it's just going to be a 2-hour video. And hopefully I've answered everyone's questions. If I've missed someone, I apologize. Here we go. 102 questions. I'm starting to feel like I'm popular. It's in small print. Andrew Babay. Hello, Larry. Hello. I have always been a fan of watching your music-related videos. Thank you. You recently did a video listing your top 10 debut albums, but I was wondering if you can reverse that. Perhaps you can do a top 10 final album by an artist or band. Certain rules would apply. For example, the artist would have had to have passed away or the band broken up. As an example, Double Fantasy by John Lennon. In I can't even pronounce that, by Nirvana. Abbey Road by the Beatles, and whatever would be in your list. That would be super cool to complement that top 10 debut video. I don't know. I'll think about it. Sounds like work to me. Mike Vernon Productions. Hi, Mike. Hi, Larry. Love your videos, thank you. My question is, if you were hanging out with Paul McCartney and he offered to play you one song, what song would you ask him to play? Well, if it's just him by himself, Blackbird. If he was with his band, I would say Junior's Farm. Callum Booth. Have you ever been to the Beatles Museum in Liverpool? No, I've never been overseas, but someday I would love to visit Liverpool. It's one of my dreams, I guess. GK35 Gaming. Hello. What are some popular bands that everybody loves and tells you to listen to, but you just don't like them enough to get into their music? And do you think you will be doing Ask Larry Graves more often? Not after this. Thanks for the high quality entertainment. Yeah, once in a while. I guess one of the ones recently has been Radiohead. Listen to their latest. And I have. It's just, I'm just not into them enough. I prefer their older material. And I also don't have time. I don't have time to listen to all the CDs I have. Smoky Security Squad. Hello. Hey, Canadian Studmuffin, are you or were you a Toronto Blue Jays fan or Montreal Expos fan? Not really, although my dad, when he was alive, at some point was a big Toronto Blue Jays fan. He used to always listen to all the games on the radio. And when they won the World Series two years in a row back in, I guess, the early 90s, I kind of got a little interested in it then, but overall I'm not a baseball fan. Garrett Munton. What are your thoughts on Gentle Giant and how did you discover them? Also, since you are on a gluten-free diet, do you plan on doing any more food reviews? And if so, do you know what you'll review? Gentle Giant, I bought their album Freehand back in 1975 and I liked it, but not enough to keep it in my collection for long. But that being said, I think Gentle Giant is one of the most talented rock bands of all time. Because I have watched their videos on YouTube and yeah, so they're really good. And as for food reviews, it has been kind of frustrating for me with food, and I do need to make a video talking about my gluten-free diet. I just haven't gotten it around to it, and I'm hoping to do some kind of food reviews in the near future because I know some people really do enjoy those. Nick Valletta, have you ever gotten in trouble with the law? No, not yet. They haven't caught me. Harambe, hopefully I pronounce all of your usernames properly, and if I don't, I apologize. What are your favorite guitar solos of all time? I want to keep these answers kind of short, but I'll just say one of my favorites is Frank Zappa's Muffin Man and Frank Zappa's Willie the Pimp are two that come to mind. And the guitar work in Blue Oyster Cult's She's as Beautiful as a Foot. But there's lots. Austin Daniels, what are your favorite hobbies, interests? Creating YouTube videos in my spare time, reading rock books, rock magazines, watching Netflix. I love almost any kind of documentary on Netflix. That's one page. Janik Barrage. Which band would you like to see reunite? I would like to see Grand Funk reunite the original members with Mark Farner because he deserves it. The way he's been kind of mistreated by the other two original members the last few years. They're out touring as, I think, Grand Funk Revisited. No, that's Queen's Clearwater Revisited. But they're out performing as Grand Funk Railroad now without Mark Farner. So I'd like to see them get back together in some way. Darian S. Hi Larry, have you ever considered maybe doing a Deep Purple top 10 songs? I would love to see your selections, thanks. I could do that, but at the same time, I'm not familiar with their whole discography. So it'd only be select albums that I've listened to. So in a way, it would be kind of unfair. But you never know. We'll see. Ryan Morgan, how long do you plan on making YouTube videos? Also, I think a top 10 Beatles guitar solos would make a cool video. That's my suggestion. Very good suggestion. I have thought of this. The only thing I'll say is I don't plan on quitting yet, but I mean I am getting up there in age, and when I do end it, I will have a goodbye video. I know there's certain other YouTube channels much more popular than mine that just kind of just left YouTube, and I think it's kind of rude to your viewers to do that and not say anything that, you know, some people are saying, did he die, and all that, and so I think it's just respectful to respect your viewers. And so I would definitely, if I was gonna leave YouTube, I would make a goodbye video at some point when I'm 89 years old. The neighbors are playing music, it's loud. I don't like rock music. Georgie Padilla, favorite TV theme song? Probably the Andy Griffith Show, with the whistling, and also The Office, because I just love the US Office TV series. Karen Records. What was your favorite memory from your childhood? Seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show on television, live. I've said that just recently. I'm old enough to remember seeing the Beatles live on the Ed Sullivan Show, and maybe they're thinking I actually was there. I wasn't there, I was just watching my black and white TV. Thomas Jean, Mr. Canadian Studmuffin, thank you in advance for this opportunity. What is your favorite Beatle collectible vinyl or CD or etc.? I don't collect, and there's other questions about vinyl, but I don't collect vinyl. I sold most of my vinyl records years ago. I had 2 or 3 for a while, but I don't have any anymore. So I just collect the regular studio albums of, for instance, the Beatles. So I have the 2009 remasters of the Beatles in the box set. So that's my most collectible item, I guess. Jeremy Picard, have you ever seen a member of the Beatles live? If so, who and where? Yes, I saw Paul McCartney live in concert in 2010, and I got to go backstage. I knew the guitarist Brian Ray because I did a video for him. And for the concert, we were 9 rows back, center stage, and I never thought I would see Paul McCartney in concert. I did not meet Paul McCartney though, but that was fine because I never thought I would see him in concert. But I did meet his band members, and they were great. They were really super nice. And I've had photos before and other videos of me meeting them. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see them in my photos. Roger Waters. The Roger Waters. What is the most overplayed song on the radio? I don't know. I don't really listen to the radio, but at work, they play the radio constantly, and when it's on the rock station, I think the song they play the most is a Canadian song, but I think it was also a hit in the States, is Tom Cochrane's Life is a Highway. Mr. Luxonatux, what is your favorite food? I like pastas. Even though I'm gluten-free, I can still eat spaghetti with the gluten-free pasta, which tastes great. So spaghetti, pizza, just normal food. Chester 109, do you like memes? I don't even know how you pronounce that. If so, which is your favorite? No, sorry, I don't. I'm not into them. John Daly covers. What are your favorite Queen songs? I did a top 10 songs list on Queen, so check that out. And when did you first get into the band? When my brother bought their debut album, Queen, back in 1973, I believe it was. And I liked them right away. Darren Kang, I like saying that. What's it like scheduling YouTube videos? How do you keep track of suggestions? If somebody gives me a suggestion, I kind of keep it in my mind here, but I mainly just go by what I think. I have so many video ideas, and there's no schedule. I just do videos when I can, when I'm not working. On weekends I might do 2 or 3 to fill out for the rest of the week, that type of thing. But really no schedule. Lee Maloney. Hey Larry, what kind of work do you do? And do your workmates know about your fame on YouTube? Good man. I work at McKesson, Canada. It's a huge warehouse here in Trenton. And yes, some of my workmates know who I am, and some, once in a blue moon, a person will come up to me and say they've watched my videos and really enjoy them, so that's really nice. And others probably don't care. Greg Perez Green. Hi Larry. First, where and when did you get your nickname, the Canadian Studmuffin? I just made it up back in the late 90s when I was on another site, acidplanet.com. I used to make comedy videos. I was originally called Larry Graves, and then I thought I need a funny name because I'm doing these comedy songs. So I'm Canadian, obviously, and then I thought I'm obviously not a stud muffin. So I combine them. And second, would you please review Trout Mask Replica? I know you love Beefheart, and it is my favorite album. And I'll just answer the 2 questions. There's a third one. I apologize, but I got so many to answer. I don't know if I'll do a review of Trout Mask Replica, but I definitely want to do either a top 10 Beefheart songs list at some point or something to do with Captain Beefheart. Charlie Burnside, favorite album cover and favorite farm animal. I love horses. Favorite album cover? Probably, really, King Crimson's In the Court of the King. In the Court of the Crimson King is a favorite. And maybe the Beatles, whatever, Abbey Road or Sgt. Pepper. And Sparks, Angst in My Pants, because it's so funny. 45 Records Man. Ever heard of Devo? Yes, I have their first 3 or 4 CDs. I love early Devo. Or Walla Voodoo. I never got into Walla Voodoo, but I do know a couple of their songs. Led Floyd. Apart from Freddie Mercury and Robert Plant, who do you think is the greatest frontman of all time? And at first I thought Mick Jagger, but now I've changed my mind completely. It is Bruce Springsteen. I'm not the biggest Bruce Springsteen fan, but I totally respect what he does, and he is one of the greatest live acts. Zach Brand, what is your favorite album beginning track of all time? There's too many to list. That's a good question, though. Maybe Taxman on the Beatles' Revolver. Paul Genesis, do you like reading? Could you tell me what your favorite book is and why? I like reading, but as I've mentioned before, in maybe another video or two, I can't read, for instance, a novel from beginning to end. When I read a book, like a rock music book or a magazine, I'm just all over the place. I don't know why. I don't have the patience or whatever, but I've never read a novel. I don't have the patience from start to finish. I end up reading whatever rock book I buy or whatever, but it's all over the place. Mr. Damo Fan 56. Larry, have you ever played the Beatles Rock Band? Or if not, any game in the Rock Band franchise? Yes, I actually owned the Beatles Rock Band for the Wii. Is it the Wii? Nintendo Wii? A few years back. And the only thing is, I bought it mainly to watch the animations. And I actually had the John Lennon little guitar and all that, but I couldn't really play it because I'm colorblind. So it's very frustrating for me, so I wouldn't be able to even really attempt it. Harry M., are there any band musicians that you love now, but it took you a long time to initially get into? Good question. The one that comes to mind is Captain Beefheart, because I think most Captain Beefheart fans, especially if they listen to Trope Mask Replica for the first time, they don't like it or they hate it. And I definitely did not like Captain Beefheart or even the Velvet Underground's. The first album of theirs I heard was White Light, White Heat, and I hated it. So those are two that come to mind that I now absolutely love. And Sparks, Kimono My House. I hated it, and now I love it. Keola Smash 550. What are your favorite albums of 2016? That includes compilations. I don't have any favorites because I'm an old timer. I like music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and maybe a little bit from the 90s. Although FFS from 2015, which is Sparks with Franz Ferdinand. I love that album. I hope they make another one at some point. Archie Robb, what is your favorite lyric writer, Larry? It's easier to say than lyricist. I think Paul Simon's right up there. Of course, Lennon McCartney. And Russell Mael of Sparks. Definitely one of my favorites. Mike Bass. What is your view on UFOs and aliens? Have you ever seen anything unusual in the sky? Yes, I have. I haven't seen a UFO, but it's a rather long story to talk about, but it had something to do with clouds and a big flash and everything. It was very weird. and it was not lightning because it was a clear night. And so yes, I believe in UFOs and aliens, and I'm open to it. Colton Lilico, what are your thoughts on the current state of rock music? I think by now it's basically all been done. That's why, or I'm just stubborn or whatever. Whenever I listen to a new band, it's like they're good, but they're similar to like Led Zeppelin or Black Sabbath or whatever, and I'd rather listen to Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath. The Potato Cactus, was A Day in the Life always your favorite song from the first time you heard it? If not, how long did it take to become your favorite? Back when I was 10, 11, 12, I never thought, oh, this is my favorite song. I mean, I just loved a lot of songs. And of course, I loved a lot of the Beatles songs. So it was a favorite of mine, but I wouldn't say it was my all-time favorite back then. Alessandro Spinelli, do you still have your old vinyl collection? No. Hamish Hood, if you could form a legendary rock group, who would be in it? I've been asked that before. I don't know. Just say Keith Moon from The Who on drums, Ron Mael from Sparks on keyboards, Geddy Lee from Rush on bass, and lead guitar Paul McCartney. Real American, I've got to catch up on the Ask Mr. channel, which is very good, by the way, since I like the longer vids. But my question is, how are you and Karen doing? Haven't seen her in a video lately. She's funny, sharp-witted. She'll be in more videos. She visits me almost every weekend except this weekend. And the last few times she's been down, we've just been busy, and I didn't make any videos when she was down. But definitely more videos with her in the near future. Thank you. Robert Petrie, what's your opinion on the Traveling Wilburys, and will you ever review their work? Probably not, but they were excellent. I loved both of their albums. Ethan Work, do you appreciate any artists from the 21st century? Yes, FFS. And I don't know if the Arcade Fire is from the 21st century, but I really like them a lot. I can't even pronounce this name. I believe it's Russian, so I apologize. What do you prefer, Paul McCartney's solo career after 1980 or his Wings albums? I like them both, but maybe overall, because Paul McCartney's released so many really good solo albums in the last few years, maybe his solo albums. Dolan's McQueen, hello Larry. What is the one thing in your life or about life itself that scares or frightens you the most? I don't have fears like I used to, like death. I guess death is something everybody fears, but just enjoy life. I'm sorry, I guess driving in the winter months here in Ontario, because 5 years back I hit black ice, flipped the car into a ditch, but we were completely safe. But that scared me, and so I had a fear of driving for a little bit. And now, in the winter months, I stay off of the major highways. And luckily my work is only 5 minutes away, so drive carefully in the winter. Everywhere. Always drive carefully. Why try? I agree. Do you believe Paul is dead? No. Silly. Silly, silly, silly. Robert Stevenson, what song is your favorite to listen to when driving down the highway? I don't have it, but I think Golden Earrings' Radar Love would be excellent to drive to, and Bachman Turner Overdrive's Roll On Down the Highway. And Deep Purple's Highway Star. Ed Vaunton, what's your favorite or favorites Captain Beefheart songs? I will make a top 10 list soon, I hope, but likely my favorite is Dirty Blue Jean. What does Douglas Phillips, what does PU stand for, as in PU that stinks? I don't know. Google it. Just joking. But I don't know. MB Austria 98. Larry, have you ever been to Austria? No. If yes, how did you like it? I loved it. It was excellent. Spencer, have you ever had any interest in sticks? Yeah, back a long time ago I bought a couple of Styx albums and I kind of liked them, but I just didn't, I lost interest in them quickly. But I respect them as a band, they are good. Mr. XB, would you consider doing top 10s of musicians per instrument, best guitarist, bassist, drummer? I can't remember if I already did that on your Larry Graves TV channel. Yes, I did. And I just uploaded a video the other day, top 10 rock guitarists, and I'm doing one for bassist and drummers too. Mundo Musica. What is a 10 out of 10 album, and which albums do you consider to be 10s? There's so many of them. But a 10 out of 10 album is an album where all of the you love all of the songs. There's not one song that kind of sucks or isn't as good as the other ones. Daniel Ferries. On your childhood, it was very difficult to buy records, or was it simple for you? And also, what happened to all the vinyl records that you bought back in those days? And also, you miss those times, or are you like the new digital era? Sorry for my grammar, I'm from Chile. If that's how you pronounce it, I apologize. We talk in Spanish. Hope you answer me. It was difficult because I didn't have any money, you know, back when I was a kid. And I just sold all of my vinyl records when CDs started to become popular, and I don't regret it because, I mean, I do miss vinyl records in a way, but in another way, I'm happy with CDs, except for the, of course, small print on CDs. And I also listen to a lot of Spotify now, so I am going digital. Jack Mahoff, what types of rock music, in your opinion, are generally the worst, best? I don't have an opinion on that. I do apologize. I mean, I don't think of things in genres in rock music so much. It's just all music to me. So there's good and bad. Callum, hi Larry. What is your favorite part of Revolution Number 9 from the White Album? I was thinking of this the other day when I read your question. And it is probably Take This Brother, May It Serve You Well. It's just so creepy. LP Galore, do you like noisier forms of rock music as well as metal? Genres of rock like noise rock, post-punk, post-rock, black metal. Hit me back, steady. Like I said, I don't really think about genres, but I don't even know what noise rock is. So I can't really answer your question. Apologies if I don't pronounce this properly. Laya Troisiski. Hello Larry, what is your opinion about Deep Purple? Thank you. I used to really be into Deep Purple. Not one of my favorite bands, but I like them a lot. And so, you know, Machine Head, Made in Japan, Burn, Stormbringer. I bought all those albums back in the day. And so I love that period of Deep Purple. Even their earlier period. I had this double album called Purple Passages with all their early material that I really enjoyed. So Deep Purple rocks. Gold Rag. If the Beatles didn't break up and continued making music into the following decades, do you think they would have started declining in quality and popularity? I have no idea. But I think maybe not, because I think John and Paul, you know, if McCartney wrote a crappy song, I think John would kind of say something, or George would say something, they would kind of work on it. They certainly wouldn't be making a song like Ebony and Ivory, I believe. Not that I'm against the subject matter. I'm just talking about the song. Soul Cartilage. Do you ever plan on a trip to England to visit Liverpool and or London for a Beatles tour? If somebody out there sends me lots of money, I will visit London, Ontario. We have London, Ontario. London, England. Or I could just drive to London, Ontario. Oscar C., are you a Metallica fan or any heavy metal bands? I just respect Metallica. I think they're great. If you're a Metallica fan, then you're lucky, because I think Metallica truly does love their fans, and they treat them really well. But I'm not a big fan, but I do respect their talent. And the only heavy metal band, if you call them heavy metal, is Black Sabbath with Ozzy. Otherwise, I don't have a big interest in heavy metal. Sturmrost 50. Hey Larry, I continue to love watching your videos on this channel. You're one of my best viewers, and I really appreciate it. You even check out my ASMR Larry Graves channel. You're one of my biggest fans. It's been very nice to check in every day or so to see what you have to show or talk about. Do you have an iPod or other portable music player that you put your CD music files on? What are your thoughts on listening to music that way? I have nothing against it. All I have is a basically simple ghetto blaster that's in my bedroom, and I listen to CDs on it with headphones. And besides that, I listen to music on my computer, Spotify, and also, of course, a CD player in my computer. Dan, I asked this on your ASMR channel video, but did you ever see the Beatles perform live as a child? No, except, of course, seeing them on TV on the Ed Sullivan Show. Carrie, Merry Christmas, Larry. Thank you. What's your favorite Christmas memory and favorite Christmas song? I just have overall nice memories of family Christmases. And my favorite Christmas song is probably Little Drummer Boy. Parumpa-pum-pum. Brandon Glaser. What was the first Beatles record you ever heard, and did you love their music right away, or was it only later on that you took to their music? Of course, I loved the Beatles right away. And I don't remember what Beatles song I heard first, but I believe it might have been a 45 RPM single, and it would have been There's a Place. Or possibly I Want to Hold Your Hand. That might have actually, now that I think of it, I believe it was I Want to Hold Your Hand. Rusty Nails. Why do Canadians care about US politics? Because we're not selfish. I'm not saying the US is selfish. Don't get me wrong. But we care about the world. Brett Hilbert, what is your opinion on the Paul is dead theory? It's silly. 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 Ben Broccoli, when did you stop buying records? Like I said, vinyl records in the early, in the late 80s, probably 87, 88. And would you consider buying them again? No. And can you do a top 10 Pearl Jam songs? I like Pearl Jam. I have some of their CDs, but I don't know all of their albums, so it wouldn't be right to do a top 10 on them. Same with Deep Purple. Do you like to watch? Larry, was there ever a DVD that you couldn't wait for, only to finally get it and not really like it? Frank Zappa's 200 Motels. It was terrible. Electric Diarrhea. What are your thoughts on Julian Lennon's albums, and do you support animal rights? I bought Julian Lennon's first album when it came out, and it was okay, but I haven't followed his career, but I respect his talents once again, and he's a really good photographer too. And of course I support animal rights because I love animals. Tricky Ricky 77, at what point in your life did you want to start playing with puppets? Whoa. I don't know, I just got the idea, maybe from you, Tricky Ricky 77, because you have puppets in your videos, but just one day, went to the store. No, I think I saw these puppets in the store, and I was thinking, oh, those are cool, you know, hand puppets, and I thought this would make for a good video, so yeah. And that was probably is my favorite word, about 2010. Steve, what do you think of the brand new Pink Floyd box set, the early years, 1965, 1972, and its contents? I believe that's a vinyl box set, but or maybe it's not, I don't know. But I have no interest in it really. I'm just I'm not a big collector of extra stuff, like demos and whatnot, so I don't have that much of an interest in it. Hi, Jinx. That's my cat's name. Jinx. Somebody said hi. Hi, Larry. If you could have attended the recording session of any Beatles song, which song would you choose and why? Penny Lane would be my choice. Looking forward to the video. Thank you. That's a really good question. The End, because all three Beatles, John, Paul, and George, were in this little cubby hole doing their guitar solos. I would have loved to have seen that. Or A Day in the Life. Or Tomorrow Never Knows. Anonymous 100112. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? I'm happy where I am, and I haven't really lived anywhere else, so I don't know. LP Galore. That sounds familiar. 2 questions. What do you think of the latest Metallica album? I haven't heard it. I've heard little bits of it, and it sounds great if you're a Metallica fan, but at the same time, it's not surprising it's Metallica, right? It's not like certain other artists. It's like, I wonder what they're doing this time. It's just your typical Metallica music, and I'm not saying it's bad. Why try? Why do you like Revolution Number 9? Because it's a memory of me as a 10-year-old, and it scared the crap out of me. And it's kind of like the people that enjoy horror movies and being scared or going on roller coasters. It's scary, but at the same time you like it or you love it. And so I love Revolution Number 9. Bonza76, hey Larry, do you watch The Walking Dead? I've mentioned this in another video, I've only seen one show. But I think I could get into it if I watched more. 2003 C. Payne. What is your favorite Rush song, and do you like Elvis Presley? I'm not a big fan of Elvis Presley, but I certainly respect what he has done, and I do like some of his early songs. My favorite is probably In the Ghetto and American Trilogy. And what is my favorite Rush song? It might be Working Man. The HD Action. Forgive me if you've said this already at some point, but who is the coolest popular figure you've ever met? Maybe like a musician, actor, or just someone you really look up to. Just curious, and I love your videos. I haven't really met that many people. I met Mark Farner from Grand Funk Railroad, shook his hand, and that was very cool. I saw Pete Best. I didn't see him up close, but he performed here in Belleville, Ontario at the Empire Theatre, and he had a question and answer thing, so I was just a few feet away from him, so it was cool to see Pete Best. And he didn't seem bitter about the Beatle years. He was a pretty cool guy. And besides that, I would say the drummer, Abe Laboriel Jr. from Paul McCartney's band. I met him, super nice guy, great personality. He laughed when I said I play a mean tambourine. Ryan McCloskey, have you any music recommendations? I find myself only listening to the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Radiohead, and Led Zeppelin, but I'd like to listen to more. I'm going to do, or I've already done, depending when I upload this, a top 10 underrated rock bands. So check that video out. And besides that, I would say check out Sparks. Or if you like something a little, really crazy, but give it a chance, check out Captain Beefheart. A good one to start with is his album Clear Spot, which isn't too weird. It's almost normal. Joy Russ, what do you think Donald Trump will do for America? I have no idea. I just hope he does good. And once again, Joy, thank you for commenting on a lot of my videos. I'm sorry for the short answer, but I got to get through a lot of these questions. Tate Davis, do you think you could listen to and review the Who by Numbers album from The Who at some point? It's my favorite Who album, and I'm very curious on your opinion on it. Thanks, Larry. At some point, I might do a Who discography review, but only up to the point where Keith Moon passed away, because I lost all interest in them after he passed away. But, yeah. Philip Godden, have you heard of the Canadian band Harmonium? Yes, I've heard of them, but I'm not familiar with their music. Anthony Della Barba, what is your favorite Beatle? Thanks. I'm going to be doing a video very soon called Who is your favorite Beatle? And I'll answer that in the video. Quinlan Productions, what is your favorite song besides the Beatles songs? Also, who do you like better, Gus or Phil McCracken? I have the burps, excuse me. Love your videos. Thank you very much. That is a hard question. My favorite song besides the Beatles. I have so many. I'm going to go with, just for now, but like I said, I could change my answer tomorrow. I'm going to go with a Bare Naked Ladies song. I know they're more of a comedy kind of, humorous. A lot of the songs are, but this song is very serious. It's called Hidden Sun. It's sung by the keyboardist, who usually doesn't sing the lead vocals, and it's a very moving song. It's a hidden track on, I believe, their Maroon album, and it just I just love it. That's all I'll say. Mr. X Denax, what is the best concert you've been to? Love your channel. Thank you. So many, but I'm not going to say my favorite, but the top three would be, the top three would be Paul McCartney in Toronto in 2010, Sparks in 2013, Ron and Russell Mael doing their solo tour, and FFS, which is Sparks with Franz Ferdinand, just over a year ago. Evan Fernandez, what are your thoughts on Jackie Lomax? I have no idea. I know who that is, but I've never really listened to his music. But he was on the Apple label, if I remember, because I have a great memory. Where am I? Davy McEwen. McEwen? What do you think of the new Radiohead album? I've heard it on Spotify. I just don't have enough interest in it, and I do apologize. I'm sure it's great. You said you like Burn the Witch. Yeah, it's good, but it's not something I would buy and listen to a lot. So that's it. Drum Master 1498. Larry, what do you believe is the best way to stay inspired when you feel like giving up? Check out my life stories on my front channel. There's 2 videos on depression. I've gone through depression, or at least sadness, and I think the best thing to do is just talk to people and don't stay locked in your apartment or house. Go out in public and meet people, and best thing to do. Do stuff. Do stuff. Do stuff. And turn down music if it's too loud. Grow My Own One. If you haven't already, can you please review Linda McCartney's album? I recently bought it and found it very interesting, as Paul explains every song in the leaflet that comes with it. I'm sorry, but I just don't have interest in it. But if you enjoy it, that is awesome. Mr. Jesus Freak Eric, will you be doing any John Lennon, George Harrison, or Ringo Starr solo album reviews in the future? I'm going to do something. I don't know what, ranking the albums or... But the answer is yes. Lord Gibson, have you ever been experienced? No comment. MLG Hitler, what's better, Revolver or the White Album? I prefer, well, I mean, they're both great, but I prefer the White Album. More songs, I guess. Whatever, FTW. Canadian Studmuffin, I had a question. What is your favorite song by AC/DC? Mine personally is Hell's Bells. Mine is, I believe I have a top 10 on my channel here. I believe it is Whole Lotta Rosie. Woody B. Hey, I can't have gluten or dairy foods. My question is, what will happen if I eat something with gluten in it? And do you think you can do a Five Guys man burger and fries food review in the future? And what is your thoughts on Wayne's World, a fan for life? Woody, I love your videos. Well, I'm not the one to tell you. Just, questions like this, it's best just to Google it. Although not that all of the answers on Google are going to be correct, but it's certainly more correct than what I'm going to be telling you about your diet. I'm not an expert on gluten. For me, it's helped me with my iron, because I've had low iron for years, and now I believe I'm not as tired in the evening, so I think it really is helping me. And yeah, Wayne's World was fun. I enjoyed it. Fit to be Tied, what was the first record you bought? The first record I bought with my own money, well, the first record, gee, that's really hard. Because, I had the Beatles Revolver and all that, but I don't believe I bought them. The first album I bought with my own money, I believe, was Grand Funk Railroad's live album. The Final Page. The Final Jimmy Page. Emil Calderon. I love your channel a lot, Larry. Thank you. My question is, when did you start to love music so much and collect a lot, etc.? Of course, seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show in 1964, and then I started collecting albums very slowly around, 67, 68, 69. Second question is, what made you open this channel? This was back in 2006, and I was already doing videos on this other channel called AcidPlanet.com, a few stupid videos, and I just came over here. Emma Luna. Larry, did you buy the Lego Beatles Yellow Submarine? No, but if somebody wants to buy it for me for Christmas, I'll send you my my address. I don't have the P.O. box anymore, but if you want to send it to me, just write to me and I'll give you the address. Thanks. And also the Lou Reed box set that just came out. I'll make a list for you. Angelo Delfino. What would you rather have, a beer and talk to Roger Waters or David Gilmour? I don't like beer. Plus there's gluten in it. I like red wine. But so, between Roger Waters. Roger Waters is a nicer guy these days. I think he had a lot of, whatever he was working on in the past. But David Gilmour is cool too. So either one. I'd be happy talking to either one. Maybe Roger Waters. Yeah. Thomas Fernando Music. Larry, I love watching your videos. You clearly know what you're talking about. I like tricking people. Trust me. Just a quick question. What is your stance on album reconstructions and remix albums like the Beach Boys' Smile Sessions, the Beatles' Love, and Let It Be Naked? Blah, 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 blah. And there are any albums that you would ever want to hear be reassembled to fix any flaws or issues? Yeah, I don't care. I'm not that interested in the remixes like the Beatles' Love, the Beach Boys' Smile Sessions. I just like the way they were originally created. Nicholas Lemucci. What are your thoughts about the Eagles and their music? I think they are a very talented band. I totally understand if you're a huge Eagles fan, I totally understand it. But for me personally, their music's just too perfect. It's just too good, maybe. I don't know. But it's boring to me. I'd rather listen to Captain Beefheart, Sparks, or even Yoko Ono. Seriously. I'm not trying to make a Yoko Ono joke here. Beatleman. Hi Larry, who is the most famous person you ever met? My name is Larry, too, or known as Beatleman. I already mentioned that. Melanie Evans. If you were going to live on an island for a year and could only take 6 music discs with you, which 6 would you take? Oh my God, that's the second last question. That's a difficult one. The Beatles' White Album. Led Zeppelin's Physical Graffiti, because both of those are doubles, so more music. Sparks, Indiscreet. Captain Beefheart's Dock at the Radar Station. Canned Heat, Hallelujah. Frank Zappa's Hot Rats. Those are just ones off the top of my head. The final question. From movie to review, favorite hockey team, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I've almost been thinking of making a video about that because I used to be a huge Toronto Maple Leafs fan from 1972 until about 2004. And then for various reasons, I stopped watching them. So I might make a video on that at some point. Thank you all for all of the questions. If I missed anybody, I do apologize. I'll do another one of these, not for a while though, and we'll see how this one goes. And thank you, especially for those that have watched the whole video or all of the videos, if I do these in different parts or whatever. Goodbye. I love all of my fans.